there! Back in 2020, when the world went into lockdown, I decided to try Minecraft. I'd never played before and wanted to document a noob's playthrough. Why? Because we only get one opportunity to play a game for the very first time. And as Minecraft is a game which revolves around passing information from player to player, I thought this would be a good challenge. The rules of the adventure were simple: defeat the Ender Dragon without any help from anyone at all. Today marks the end of this series. I did it. I beat the Ender Dragon all alone, and it's been one hell of a journey. A quick recap of milestones. In the first 100 days, I slowly understood farming, and by the end of the episode, I ventured into the Nether for the very first time. On the way to 200 days, I got to grips with building, and I learned to enchant. And I got so lost in the Nether, I had to start in a brand new area. On day 200, I saw a new enemy, and that's where we'll pick up the story. I quickly got to work in my new home and protected the portal from invaders. After clearing the area, I saw a village close by, and by the end of day 2, I'd made a shopping mall. I took all the villagers and gave them professions and put them all in one place, safely locked away like a prison. Over the first week here, I power leveled these guys to see what they would sell me. And it's cool stuff, like swords that set enemies ablaze, and enchantment books which make me take less damage from fire. This was the one aspect of Minecraft I never really wanted to bother with, but I'm so glad I did. Day 3 arrived, and I went straight back into the Nether to find that flaming enemy. You'll find I give everything my own names in this series, as I simply can't go online to check, just in case there's spoilers. So unless it kills me, it gets a new name, just like Derek, or the Pig Dudes, or the Rack Hives, or the Slender Endermen. Whilst in the Nether, I found these guys, the Black Skeletons. I cheated the system and wrecked them all, collecting 4 blaze rods in the process. I had no idea why I needed them back then, but this was a big moment. On day 4, the Marauders approached and I decided to challenge myself. Could I start a raid and keep all my villagers alive? It wasn't going to be easy. I had tried this twice before and failed both times. But now I felt strong enough to protect and attack. Everything was going to plan. I was collecting banners like they were going out of fashion. And then I remembered the real problem here. These things, these Brahma bulls. I hatched a plan to take them out, and over the next 3 days, I survived the raid. Afterwards, I checked on the family and everyone made it through. This was great. Only a few stragglers to take care of, and then I was killed by a Vex. A damn Vex. I don't even know what a Vex is. The following day, the plan was to find my way back home to the Hobbit house, but I wanted to stack up on those blaze rods. I wasn't sure how easy it would be to find another one of those spawners. I got over 30 in the end. After saying goodbye to the villagers and stocking up on supplies and mending my weapons and armor, I walked home through the Nether. Day 9 brought me to a pig castle. I was surprise attacked constantly and barely survived. This place was full of items I'd never heard of, but now I have golden carrots and a music disc. Why? I don't know, but this is cool. Over 3 days, I followed the path back home, and finally I got there. I had to fight my way through so many of these pig dudes, but I'm back. It felt great. To celebrate, I went on top of Hut Watch and randomly started throwing things like chickens and flame rods, as you do. But then this randomness led to something fantastic. I accidentally used an ender pearl and discovered teleportation. 211 days I've been here, and I'm still finding things that are blowing my mind. Before I accidentally commit Sudoku, I set my spawn point here. I don't want to take that 3-day journey ever again. Day 212. There was no rest for the wicked. I ran out of bread and needed more food. To the farm I go. And yes, I went to visit my animals too. Another rack hive attacked, reminding me I really need to sleep one of these days. Day 213. I woke up with a great deal to do. I made a room. Let's call this a museum. The plan is to make everything I've never made before and plonk it in this room until it has a use. Now I'm back home, resources are plentiful, and throughout my trips to the Nether, I have so many things I don't know what to do with, like ancient debris. And I even have a totem of undying. That sounds important. I thought by making everything in the recipe book, I'd have a better chance of finding the Ender Dragon before day 300. The next day, I got totally sidetracked and made an Ender Dude. out of the excess wool I've had. I'm trying my best to keep building so I keep improving. Day 15. Yes, I know it would be better with obsidian, but that takes so long to mine. I'm sticking with wool. Just before day broke the following morning, the Ender Dude was complete. But he had brown eyes, because I don't have any purple wool yet, and I haven't decided what he should be holding yet. I need to get back to the job at hand, building everything that's possible. So please ignore all the sheep all over the world right now. We've got better things to do. Day 217, I made TNT and attempted to blow up the mountain to the right of my house. It was great fun. Through the night, I crafted other items like this brewing stand, which again I'm clueless about. Looks like I need potions and not bread. Now day 218, this was the greatest day looking back at my time in the game. I concentrated my efforts on crafting things that included fire, like those rods I picked up in the nether, and eventually created an Eye of the Ender. I really thought this was going to be some sort of super-powered teleporter, so I threw it. I was completely wrong. It sort of hovers there, and I think it wants me to follow it. Without delay, I tossed another into the air, and the adventure began. It was slow progress, it really was. And then suddenly, the bloody thing broke into pieces. These shenanigans are already over. I now knew what I needed to do, craft as many Eye of Enders as I could, and follow them to a secret location. Just like Frodo and Sam, I grabbed my wares and set off on an adventure. The mission to find the secret location was long. I ran for miles, desperately hoping each eye wouldn't shatter. I swam across rivers, up waterfalls. I fought enemies. I ran day and night, never stopping, which led me to this forest on day 20. I'll cut this down. I continued to throw the eyes in the air, but I completely lost them. Turns out, the eye wanted me to go underground. We're going down. So I made a shovel and started digging for what I thought was going to be treasure. An achievement hit, and I'd made it to an underground facility. The corridors were winding. It was almost a maze. Jail cells scattered throughout, and so many dead ends it took over a day to explore. But then I found it. This thing, a ring of eyeballs? But alas, some were missing. Luckily, I had quite a few ender eyes, which I then put in. And of course, I needed more to claim this underworld treasure, which meant I needed to go back home and restock. I brought with me enough mats to build an ender portal. I figured out that distances in the nether are shorter than in this top side of the world, so I tried to get home this way. Oh, and by the way, I attempted to build a Lord of the Rings style tower here in this new location to help me find it easier, but it doesn't look very good at all. I wanted to remove all the stone from the underground facility and put it here. And like usual, my habit of not finishing things I start continues. I'll come back to it, you have my word. Day 23, I made the portal and went back home. Okay, I went the wrong direction first, but eventually I got home, and on that day I started to fight any Enderman who wanted a piece of this. I needed their pearls. Day 25 and 26 were a restock few days back on the farm, which means more mundane tasks. And at this point in the series, I've completely stopped showing you when I'm strip mining. Every night or two, I come back down here and smash walls until I find diamonds. But I needed much more this time, so I went down for 40 minutes and came back with 22 diamonds. Not too shabby at all. Plot twist! Whilst down in the mine, I realised I'd never figured out what redstone dust actually does. I put that right on day 27. My first experience was a failure. I tried to use it like it was a bomb fuse. But eventually, I had an epiphany, and thanks to my track experiments from the very first episode, I used the lever. And sure enough, I started to understand redstone dust. It's like circuitry. Let the experiment continue. On day 28, I made everything with the word redstone in it. It meant more trips to the nether, but all the time I'm fighting endermen to get more of those pearls. And yeah, look, I made a light switch. Whoop whoop. The next day, I made a dispenser. I tried to make an automatic bow. It's awesome, but I can't make it shoot repeatedly. But I'm definitely learning. Day 30, I moved on to pistons. Pushy little blocks of awesomeness. I was immediately addicted to the possibilities of redstone, and I also began to understand power sources and the weakening signal that continues, and redstone torch, oh there's just so much, I'll just shut up. It was getting sciencey, but another piston caught my eye. The sticky piston. Ever since I fought the big green jelly, I've always wanted to know the purpose of that slime, and now I have the chance. I slept to prepare myself for a day of science. The next morning, I learned how to move blocks with sticky pistons. My plan was to create a redstone door which automatically opened using pressure plates. It took 3 days. It took so long. But look, a golden door. It's far better than I imagined. But now I have random redstone dust unhidden here, which is a bit of an eyesore. But in terms of functionality, I made a door like a real man. I hope my dad is proud of me. When day 33 arrived, I celebrated my achievements and made fireworks. They look nice and all, but I feel this is a complete waste of gunpowder. Also, I fought more ender dudes. I'm always scrapping with these guys now. The next day, I stacked all my pearls together and used my final stashes of blaze powder to make the last Eye of Enders I will ever need. It's time to go back to that castle ruins. The journey is now microscopic thanks to the nether. I arrived almost immediately and inserted the eyes. And of course, I'm missing one, so back to fighting ender dudes some more. Frustratingly, none dropped all day, and then Xander told me to try at night time.
Check it at night.
Check it at night, okay. Let's see if he's right. Damn it, he's right. Don't tell him, stupid 5-year-old. Anyway, we have the final piece of the puzzle. And now it's time to open the mega portal. I was shooketh by the animation, and also a little scared. So like most scientists before me, I threw a carrot in there to check how it works. And yep, it's certainly a portal, so I'm not sure if I can get back. So this got me really worried. I guess this is where we fight the Ender Dragon? Only one way to find out. Is this the end of the story? All those months ago, a noob tried to find the Ender Dragon without any help. Is this really it? I arrived. Everything clicked into place. The end is here. I can see the Ender Dragon's health. And of course I didn't know how to get out and went the wrong way. But eventually, I came face to face with the Ender Dragon. Immediately, he spat a plume of toxic purple vomit at me. I was trapped, so this was my chance to see how long the purple puke stuck around for. It's 36 seconds if you're interested. During this time, I heard the Endermen and made a choice to build a house for protection. I needed somewhere safe should I ever look an Enderman in the eyes. Good thing I did, because 8 attacked me the moment I looked around. Using my mini home, I could wipe them out without risking any injury. I took my opportunity to venture forward towards the dragon. I hit him with a crossbow shot, but his health didn't take a hit at all. Looking around, I saw these pillars which looked to be protecting him. So I took a cheeky shot at one and... yeah, now we've got a plan. Take down all the pillars. I made a second home in the centre of the island, but this was my undoing. I didn't think fast enough and died to the puke poisoning. This was going to be a tough run. Back in the overworld, I ran straight back in to get my items and finished off the second shack, taking more shots to break the curse on the pillars. But a new issue faced me. Some of the pillars were protected and my crossbow was useless. A new plan was needed, and thanks to the Endermen, I knew what I needed to do. Use those pearls to teleport up high. It worked, but due to my previous death, I didn't know where my pickaxe was, and yeah, I died again. 2-0, 2-0 Ender Dragon, okay, 2-0. Day 37 arrived, and I needed to think this through. I'm okay with my strats there, I don't think there was anything I could really change, but my ability to take damage was definitely a problem. I kept in mind I still had 60 days to get that fight won, so I put on my last suit of armour. Back home, I checked my furnaces. I made netherite scrap from ancient debris, and according to the recipe book, I needed one more piece of gold to craft it. So I stole it and made my first ever netherite ingot. Look at all the things I can make in the top corner. But nothing was actually in the recipe book, so once again, I had no idea how to make netherite weapons and armour, and I feel they would be useful about now. On day 238, I decided the giant Enderman outside needed to have something to hold, so I grabbed a Marauder banner and I remade it. I find these kinds of things really tranquil, especially when the sun rose. I think my favourite thing in Minecraft is collecting Marauder banners. By the way, you've seen how I get down from the Enderman, but did you know how I get up? He has a ladder straight up to his butthole.
What's inside a butthole? I always want to know.
Day 239, I decided to go back to the tower I started building at the end portal. I gave myself a week of time in-game to finish this. Let's do this, hit the montage music. just in case you're thinking I have some sort of survival skill, please note, I died 4 times making this build. Each time I regathered my things and mined more stone and continued the build. By the way, day 43 is super boring. I needed around 200 obsidian blocks. That was so painful, but hopefully worth it because on day 47, I finished it. My first mega build, Big Benny the Minecraft clock. Hang on, I can improve this. That's better. I left the game running to capture a cool time lapse of the day-night cycle, but when I returned, I was dead. That was fun. I'm happy with the final build. It's nothing fancy, but shows a progression in skill, I hope. I think I prefer the building side of Minecraft compared to the survival elements sometimes. But gathering mats is so painstaking, but when it comes together and you build something you're proud of, it's totally worth it. Let me just go back a couple of days. This is what I figured out on day 46. I can use water to get up and down safely. I feel so dumb for not figuring this out 200 days earlier. This would have negated so many of my deaths. But I'm glad I know this now, because every day is a school day. Day 50. I spent a few days in the mines to get my XP level high enough to enchant my gear to a high standard. And now, mark this day in your calendar, day 252, the day I beat the Ender Dragon. At the moment, I've died twice, but I will have the final say in this war. This time I brought water to safely climb down the pillars with the iron covers. This method was simple. Ender pearl to teleport, break the covering, use a bucket to escape, hit the new opening with a crossbow bolt. I knew not to stand too close. I'm guessing we explode if we melee these. The water became a pivotal way to take out the other pillar crystals too. This was going completely to plan. And now the Ender Dragon had nowhere to hide. It was time to end this, which took a very, very long time.
2,000 years later.
In the last moment, the Ender Dragon was on the smallest amount of health possible. I needed to end this in the most epic of ways. I waited for the beast to land, and then I clocked him upside the head to mark the end of this noob quest. The credits began to roll. The Minecraft noob had done it. I found and defeated the Ender Dragon without any help from anyone or anything. I really felt like I accomplished something today. I immediately then went onto Twitter and YouTube and unblocked the word Minecraft. I'm now allowing myself to look at guides and tips and see how other people make content around this game. I kept going until day 300, but I feel that this is a really good end point because everything I make after this point is not personal anymore. It's due to a guide, and I'm really thankful for those. For example, a chap called Mumbo Jumbo taught me redstone stairs, which I made on day 63, all thanks to tutorials. And once I was told how to get netherite armor, I had a full set by day 90. I suddenly could do anything because all the information was there at a button click. I found the Lytra wings. These things changed everything about how I got around. But looking back, I'm happy I played the first part of this without any help at all. The memories I've made will make Minecraft memorable forever. And now I've got to a point where I'm not sure what to do next. Maybe try hardcore and see if I'm up to the challenge, or maybe get my son Xander involved and play my first game of duo Minecraft. I'll let you decide what we do next and if you'd like any more Minecraft content from me. But now on day 300, I wanted to thank you for putting up with my nonsense. Noob life is tough, but we did this. I'm Adam from PlayStation Grenade. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you next time.